Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. Also live on Facebook and on YouTube, having the crucial conversations that Erie needs. And sometimes we got to talk politics. And so that's when we bring in our political guru, the Harbor Creek Township Supervisor, Mr. Dean Pepicello. And the question always is, where is Dean?
Yeah, where is Dean?
Where is Dean?
Who's asking that?
I'm asking. No, he's just sitting right next to me. Yeah.
My dog doesn't even care where I am. He's like, whatever. No one cares where I am.
Oh, my gosh.
But hey, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, let's start with local politics. And I want to refer to a recent story. I think it was in Real Clear, Pennsylvania. And it was from Gannon University professor Jeff Bloodworth, Dr. Bloodworth. Let's face it, the GOP around here is having trouble. You know what I mean? They got shellacked
in Erie County
in this last election. We saw one significant kind of county-wide win, and that was District 6. Charlie Bale won by less of a margin that would have been expected for a heavily red district. Well, and that's what he was referring to as far as Mr. Dr. Bloodworth there.
That was his take?
His take
the Republican Party's take?
He was talking to all the Republicans and basically saying, that he interviewed Steve Scully. Scully talked about that basically these local races have all become nationalized, that Trump appears on the ballot. Doesn't matter whether it's school board or the Senate or the House, it's always seems to be about Trump. What's your thoughts on any of that?
Oh boy, that was Steve Scully's take?
Yeah.
So Donald Trump's the reason Brent Davis lost by 19,000 votes?
Could be. That basically it was a reaction to Trump and a reaction to Davis, no doubt.
I'm not.
Again, yeah.
All right, I understand what he's saying, and I think there's some of that. We're into an off year. Trump is wildly popular with some and wildly unpopular with others. I'm not. All politics is local. I think it's the opposite. All politics is local.
I think it's flipped, brother. I do.
Yeah, because of Trump's notoriety, because who Trump is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the main factor that Brent Davis lost. I don't listen. Let's go run through the Erie races. Yep. Right, Campanelli was going to win. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
It was a.
Well,
he was the incumbent.
All the city races, they're a foregone conclusion.
Right, but look at the county races. Campanelli was going to win. Clerk of Records wasn't really a race, although he had an opponent who didn't have a ton of money. I can't. What are some of the other ones? I can't think of them now off the top of my head. How quickly you forget about it. But I mean, look at the county exec. So I'm not buying it's Donald Trump's fault that Brent Davis lost by such a large margin. I don't understand how bad of a day. I'm not buying it. I guess that's where I'm at. I'm not buying that the national politics led to what went on in Erie County. I think all of those races had their unique situations, which made them unique locally.
Talk about some of the criticism that the GOP has gotten.
I'll give you this. Yeah. I'll give you this. Republicans didn't come out in the same numbers.
Not at all.
As they did for Trump. So if you want to say that, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Right? But I don't think that leads to a 19,000 vote loss in a high profile race. But I'll give you that Republicans didn't come out. So, okay, then the answer isn't Republicans got killed. I mean, I guess they did. The answer is Republicans didn't turn out.
Mm-hmm.
Those to me are different things. And they lead to different strategies then as to what you're going to do next. Are we changing policies or are we changing campaign tactics? So I think there are some unanswered questions. So I guess I agree with some of it, but not with all of it, Joel. As I think this through. But you're getting me to come around. Okay, Trump was a factor. I don't think he was the factor. I don't list it as the main factor.
I found what Steve Scully had to say it kind of resonated with me.
I'll have to go back and read it.
Yeah.
Because he's brilliant. And so
Right.
is Jeff Bloodworth. I mean,
Well,
they're really
absolutely.
good. Like, so
Yeah.
I would take seriously what they say.
We've got to figure out, because 2024 was another focus that everybody's looking at Erie County. And so even like a sheriff's race or county executive race or, county council races or city mayor race, they're being watched from throughout the country. I mean, literally, that executive race was mentioned on national news. Because
James Carville mentioned it.
But it was like this reasoning for the Democratic, the Republicans shellacking across the country.
James Carville brought it up because he wanted to make the point that Democrats had this great night. So
right, exactly, yeah.
Again, I'm going to take that with a bit of grain of salt. I understand it. Listen, it was a wonderful day for Democrats, but I don't think that they, or either party at this point, can think going forward that the whole axis has changed and Democrats are going to dominate Erie County-wide elections going forward for the next foreseeable future because of what just happened a couple of weeks ago. I'm not buying that.
Okay. All right, let's pivot to Trump and Mandami.
Oh.
I mean, everybody was like, there was fear and loathing about the New York City mayor-elect coming to the White House. And you got two New Yorkers. And here's the thing about Trump. Again, he's transactional. And he tends to basically not be rude unless you're Vladimir Zelensky. He tends to not be rude to people in the Oval, even if they're like really.
No,
I said except for Volodymyr Zelensky and maybe the Speaker of the House.
In the Oval.
In the Oval.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In the
agree
Oval.
with that, but okay.
Yeah, in the Oval.
So he's like glad-handing
Oh,
him.
in person. It's
In
like that in
person.
person, right?
Yeah.
Which drives me
I mean,
crazy, too, a little
he
bit.
might do all caps on Truth Social
Right.
afterwards. I don't know.
It's a two-way
What was
street.
that about?
How about the things they said about each other? What did Mamdani, whatever, I can't pronounce his name. What did he say about Trump? He's not a fascist, but I forget whatever. And Trump's like, I've been called worse.
Yeah, you could say that I'm a fascist.
And he's called him Kami
okay.
Mamdami or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And then they're yucking it up and patting each other on the hand. Honestly, I watched a little bit of it because wasn't it Friday?
Yeah, it was Friday, yeah.
I'm watching. I'm like, what am I watching? What kind of circus am I currently? This is ridiculous. Like, pick a stance one way or another. At least say, like, if you disagree with a guy, say something. They didn't say anything bad about each other at all. Well, we don't really disagree on it or agree on everything, but blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what am I watching? What is this circus? They're going to go right back to throwing bombs at each other. You know that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
As soon as they're away from each other. I just like, does anybody buying this? Is anybody in the country buying that these two are now pals who just want New York City to do very well? Because I'm not. I can promise you that. I really thought to myself, what planet am I currently on? Am I watching this sideshow?
Yeah.
Turn something else on. That's what I thought. This is all a show. It's a joke. None of it means anything. I'm not taking any of it seriously. I don't know how anybody could. That's what I thought.
Well, I thought it was interesting because it was making some of the national media pools' heads explode that they weren't at each other's throats.
Well, I didn't expect that either.
Right.
But I didn't expect two chummies with their arms around each other.
Yeah.
Talking about how great they're going to work together to make, because they don't agree on anything.
It's interesting to watch the president in the chair and there's Mandami standing behind him.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting body language that way, but they seem to be cordial.
I thought Mamdani was maybe a little intimidated.
You think?
What is he? How old is he? Mid-30s?
Yeah, and it's the Oval.
Seriously.
It's the greatest home court advantage that any leader has.
The whole country's watching. That'd be pretty difficult. The dude's a good speaker. I mean, he really is. I think he's got a certain appeal to him, which people, I'm sorry, but they liked. I would have trouble doing it, but they didn't. That. So I thought he was a little intimidated, but not a lot. And I thought the whole thing was farcical. That's what I thought.
Let's grab our first phone call here. You're live with Dean and Joel and Shaney on Talk Erie.
Hey, Joe, I don't know why you're surprised. I mean, Trump's not America first anymore. I'm actually expecting him to maybe fund Omar's next campaign re-election.
Oh, my. Wow. Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, it's possible, right? I mean, he surely is not America first. What happened to Doge? What happened?
That's
to
that's a
Doge,
really
Dino?
good question, man.
I saw the numbers
Dino?
today. They think they saved every American $1,300. Every American. Those were the numbers they put out. They said it today. It was over $1 billion or something they've cut from the federal government. Thought they saved every taxpayer $1,300. They put it up today.
Spend
Well, he
$7
also-
trillion dollars.
Just telling you what their defense was.
Well, Trump also told lies 6,311 by we were all going to get a cut of that check. You know, he was going to cut us a check for that Doge. You know, so I guess we'll have to wait and see if he's going to lie to us about this tariff stuff. You know, but I'll tell you, I don't know how anybody can support Trump any longer. I surely don't, and I won't go back to supporting him ever again. This man is a disgrace, what he's done to this country, and he's just flip-flopped on everything. I mean, look at poor MGT. You know, I mean, I never agreed with her on much stuff. I thought she liked to start trouble a lot, but he's thrown her under the bus, and everyone's fleeing the Republican Party because of Trump, and I'm going to make a prediction that the Democrats in the midterms win it all, and in 2028 they win it all again because of Trump. I think he's actually trying to damage the party. I really do. I mean, what other conclusion can you come to of what he's doing? He's meeting with terrorists. Okay, he wants this Nobel Peace Prize so bad that he's meeting with all these people from different countries that hate us. You know? And I don't understand what he's trying to do, but yeah, I almost forgot to call, Dean. I almost forgot you were on today. But okay, you guys have a good show.
All right, thanks so much. Bye. Let's take the break and let's get into MGT or MTG, because I think that's a huge development here. You've got Dean Pepicello on your radio along with Joel and Shaney. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Dean Pepicello is with us here on Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. All right, let's get to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, a big announcement Friday night. I thought it was trying to understand it. Like, why throw in your chips and go home early?
Yeah.
I guess the timing is such that they might be able to have an open primary in Georgia for 2026, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, bizarro world. It's like the meeting with the New York City mayor thing. I'm like, what is going on currently? There's a couple of things. She's either being true to herself about the Epstein file thing.
Yeah.
Right, where she really had, that's where she had the separation from Trump, and she's just proving her point. She's nervous because of it that she's going to get primaried. I guess that's a possibility, and you don't want the loss around your neck. But again, she's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's in one of the maybe the safest district in the country, right, for herself.
Sure.
I would think so. There was no issue there. And then I thought, maybe she's running for president. I guess that could be the case. I don't think she wins, but it keeps her in the headlines for the next 3 years. Gives her something to do, raises some money.
What about the issues that she's brought up?
Maybe she just disagrees with Trump on a number of things?
Yeah, especially like no movement by the Republican Party at all on health care. Like they've been promising an alternative to Obamacare since the first administration of Trump.
You're right. Yeah. That goes to Bill's point in the phone call, right? That the Republican Party is starting to splinter. It could be. That could be too. It could be all of those things. Nobody really knows what her motivation is. And then what's out there for her next? She can't win governor. She can't win senator in Georgia. I just don't think that happens. I guess
she become like a Sarah Palin and just kind of springs up every once in a while.
She'd make a ton of money speaking.
Yeah.
I think. Does she join Turning Point? Does she join Fox News? I guess those possibilities are out there. And I guess maybe if you're looking and your career's not going to go any higher, and politically, I don't think it would have. I don't know. Only she knows that. Any of those things are a possibility. Any of the four things I think that we mentioned are possibilities. I don't know which one it is. She's the last person I thought would just leave early, take her ball and go home, even if she does disagree.
I tend to take her at her word that basically, and to call her Bill's point, it's like, has Trump really taken his eye off the ball to what he ran on, which was fixing America for regular Americans and the whole affordability issue. Again, as important as foreign policy is, I never expected so much attention on stuff overseas. It's like he shut down the border, which was, the number one story. Mm-hmm. And then he got bored with, or he's seeing that it's not so easy to cut government waste, and it's not so easy to balance a budget, and I'm not even sure he wants to.
Not so easy to bring down inflation.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't think it's any of those things. Maybe taking his eye off that, maybe I'll give you that. I think that he's a big legacy guy at this point, right? He's a lame duck, and people are the whispers are starting that you are a lame duck. Even Donald Trump will be a lame duck. I think that legacies are built internationally. They're not, no legacy. How many presidents do you remember? Oh man, they were really good on inflation. None. Right? None. Yeah. Right. You might.
But the Abraham Accords, if you expand those.
If you stop a 3-year war, Ukraine, Russia, certainly what has gone on in the Middle East. He met with the Saudi prince or king or whatever. I get the criticism, but politics sometimes is very gray. It just isn't black or white. Like you can say, I'm going to do this. And sometimes to do this, you need to do that. You need to, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene said in her resignation, I don't want to do the things I have to, I don't want to make the deals I have to make to be president, right? And that's reality. So yeah, Trump has to get to where he wants to be, or close to where he wants to be, because sometimes politics is about compromise, even for Donald Trump, because that's the way this representative republic is beautifully set up. So he's got to do some things that aren't pretty. That's what happens. And he's going to anger some of the people in the base. Mm-hmm. He is. But he wants to get to a certain place. He loves the Abraham Accords. He really wants Middle East peace. That's very important. Ukraine and Russia are tougher. It's tougher. I mean, we'll see. But legacies are built internationally. They're not built through boring domestic policy. I'm sorry. Elections are won that way. Legacies are not.
That's a really insightful point of view. Hey, you're live on Talk Erie. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead.
Hi, yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's going to start a podcast like the day after she resigns or something, and she's been in there long enough to get her pension, and she's also got trouble at home. I hear. I understand.
Okay.
My wife's been yelling in my ear for the last 10 minutes when you've been talking about why she's leaving.
Okay. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Bye.
Yeah. Right.
I think the congressional pension is 10 years, by the way. I'm pretty sure.
So she's not eligible
I'm not
yet.
sure. Don't quote
She
me
just,
on that. But
yeah, I mean, again,
she could do all those things and
leaving
still
in
stay in office.
2006. She just got there in 2001. She's
Yeah.
only got 5 years
21.
in.
Yeah. She could,
2021.
and she could do all those things. Podcasts, all of those things she can do while in office as a congressperson.
Yeah.
You don't have to give the seat up for that.
No.
So I'm not saying it's not the reason. I don't know. He could be as right as anybody else. But most of those things, they don't quite add up.
Yeah.
If you're, what I'm thinking, but he could be right. Who knows?
Let's sneak another call in. Hi, you're live on Talk Erie towards the bottom of the hour here. Go ahead.
Good evening. Everyone looks at a president to make everything right again, to cut inflation, and it's impossible. They can't not do it, and there's a good reason why. One of which, they stopped teaching the supply-demand curve in school. Did you know that? They don't teach that anymore.
I believe it.
It's in our hands. It's in our hands to cut inflation by cutting back on our spending. People want to pay top dollar because they want it that bad. Well, that's a big contributor to inflation.
But don't you
Cut
think
that
don't you think it's important to the president to shine the light, use the bully pulpit on what he's doing to try to make life more affordable?
What the president can do is make the cost for raw materials that we use, the food from farmers, energy, make that more affordable. He has that in his power to a point, to a degree. But by and large, we as consumers are the main drivers for inflation or deflation,
All right.
I like to call it, because the dollar's worth less is what's going on. Everyone's convinced it's normal for everything to go up in price every year. No.
Doesn't have to
No,
be.
it's not normal.
Mm-mm.
It's not normal. It's with the opposite. If you tell people what actually is happening, the dollar is going to devalue every year, and that's normal.
You're
going to get
right.
a lot of pushback, but that's exactly what's going on, and no one's teaching it in school. I don't know why.
I appreciate
Or maybe
it.
I do know why.
Yeah. Thanks so much, man. Bye. I've got less than a minute here. What about that? This
That's
idea this idea that the Fed says, well, it's okay if the inflation is 2%. Well, that means that your dollar's worth 20 cents less in 10 years. That stinks.
Yeah, but that's capitalism, right? That's Adam Smith, right? That's the free
Yeah.
market. I mean,
Wow.
he's right about that. I think, though, presidents can do things to create, and Congress, many elected officials can do things to stimulate the economy, to make an atmosphere for an economic boom or decline. But some of those things, come with costs from time to time.
Dean Pepicello is with us. We got to take a break for news here. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show on a Monday. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, and on Mondays it indeed is the Danger Zone as we talk politics with Dean Pepicello, our political guru, and he is the Harbor Creek Township Supervisor. And Dean, we were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's kind of a pretty big political story here. Certainly, I want to ask you about J.D. Vance. And I just know from just some of this a little bit of reporting, they literally got on a talk show or got on a panel and said that we've only been here 10 months. Inflation was up to 9% under Biden. Please be patient with us. Here's the thing: if you have to say that, though, that means that you're not spending enough time talking about affordability.
No, but I think it was the strategy in the first Trump term as well. So you're coming off Obama, and prices were high, inflation was an issue, and they put things in place, regulation cuts for sure, tax cuts, right, things to stimulate the economy that tend to take time. Reagan did the same thing, and they took time. And I think that they believe that. I think that they believe their plan, although not getting headlines. Again, legacies are built internationally, not domestically. But I think they believe in that plan. They're starting to sell that. Here's the thing for them. It's going to have to work in a hurry because you get into the middle of next year and you're talking midterms. And if the economy is not recovered to some extent, based on the price of goods, everyone thinks the price of goods is too high. Everyone. End of story. Like, that's what people think. So maybe they're realizing it now. Maybe they've been distracted a little bit with the international stuff, trying to be heroes, trying to get some of these things solved and make headlines. But I think they believe that their principles will work and that they're hoping they'll work by next year. So I think he's telling the truth when J.D. Vance said that.
Talk about the reality, though, that it's going to be next to impossible for Republicans to keep the House. They're on such a narrow path as it is. Generally, in the best scenario, they would lose 6 to 12, maybe 18 seats. That's in the best scenario.
Yeah.
And that would easily have them lose the House. The Senate will be more difficult for the Democrats to take over. As soon as they lose a House, they lose that majority, that ability to kind of control the narrative, and instantly the investigations will begin, and it'll become a slog.
Yeah, it'll be gridlock city all the way to 28.
All the way to 28.
They tried to prevent that the House becoming Democratic, by the way, with the redistrict thing, which hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. Texas is on hold now, because there's a lawsuit that it looks racial. Prejudicial in its drawn map. California, they passed it. The people said, absolutely, let's go. They're going to pick up 5 seats. So I think that's likely to backfire, it looks like. So there's a potential another failure. We'll see how it all plays out. It's still Texas at the end of the day. It's starting to shape up that way. The House races and the Senate looks very good too. So for Republicans too. Right. So Americans, I said this either a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Americans are never happy. Never happy. The electorate is never happy, man. Maybe we'll go 8 years at the most. 12 is you don't get further than 12, and then we're definitely unhappy, and we're going to blow everything up. But typically, every 4 to 8 years, we're blowing it up. We're just not happy. That's probably going to be the case here. You're going to get gridlock. The American people tend to love it. We'll see, but it is trending that way. Only twice in 100, 150 years, 200 years has the party in power held power with the House and in Congress in an off-year election. So it's likely to happen. Of course it is.
Yeah, let's grab another couple calls here. We're going to go quick. Hi, caller. You're live on Talk Erie with Dean, Joel, and Shaney. Go ahead.
Kujin.
Hey.
We got to go quick.
Yeah, we do.
We got to go quick.
Yeah, we got to go quick.
Okay. I remember when it got into the second year of Trump's term is when everything started to really rev up.
That's true.
As first term, if we have the term,
how many times did they try to impeach him though in between 2018 and 20?
He was fighting him, with one arm tied behind his back, as our dear Rush Limbaugh would say, and he's defeated them. I think the American electorate, most of them, maybe not all, want to rein in the spending. And spending means giving people free money. And that's where the country sometimes, when they start to see, they say you don't want to see the sausage being made, where do we cut? Oh, you can't cut here. Oh, you can't cut there. Oh, yeah, let's elect Santa Claus again, and they're going to give us and give us. People don't realize. And then they sit there and complain about the national debt. Well, where are they supposed to get the money from? I don't know if this time is going to be a knee-jerk reaction and you're going to get a majority of Democrats in Congress. That's the feeling of, I guess, if it was 1985 or something, or the 90s. People right now are watching what these people are saying, and yeah, they might not agree with everything Trump's saying, but what these Democrats are saying is wacko. And that's what you want, right? You got, when they used to say George Bush was a C student, we got a bunch of inept people running our country. And Trump, that's why Trump ran, says, what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. And that's where the most smart people think it are. But here we go again. Real simple. And I think it was, I'm trying to remember, it was a cartoon of an election of one of the, I think it was Eisenhower. One of them had a thing. The people in the wagon were yelling at the people pulling the wagon to pull harder. Well, at what point do the people pulling the wagon just say, well, the hell with it then. We'll ride too.
Okay.
Give up. That's where we're at. That's where everybody's looking for a grant, looking for, again, it sounds, you have to have empathy. At what point, I get that. That comes at your church.
Okay. I appreciate it, man.
Did you hear, real quick, just one more thing. You had the news break where you had a teacher molest a student.
It's horrible.
Where the hell are the morals? They don't come from the ground. They come from your parents. Your parents usually learned it from their parents. Eventually you go back, this all came from some kind of form of higher power. Your belief system.
That's it.
You're not born with good morals. They're there, but you got to be taught this is right, this is wrong. And that's where the problem is.
Thanks.
Everybody wants Santa Claus. All right.
God take it bless. Easy, man. Bye-bye. Let's get another call. Hey, you're live on Talk Erie. Go ahead.
Yeah, the pension thing, it's 5 years. So she's going to get her pension by 2 days or something for a lifetime pension.
Okay. Maybe that's what's that.
That's what that.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020, it's going to take Trump time to get this. 2026 is going to be a much better year. I think we're going to see a whole lot of things happen in 2026. We were doing great before the last 4 years. I know I'm retired and was doing fine. The last 4 years have havoc on us.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a little bit of time, but I believe before midterms, he'll have this thing turned around. We need to turn it around. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we can't go on with what we've had for the last 40, 50 years.
I appreciate
it. And I can't believe Americans would even accept something like that. And those that put Biden in, I think we ought to hold them accountable.
All right.
They put us through 4 years. It's hard to get prices back down. It's a job, but I think he'll do it by 2026.
Thanks for the insight. Appreciate it, man. Bye. Yeah, what do you think about that? That's a pretty optimistic point of view there.
I do. I mean, I was the first to say it. Glad to see people agreeing with me for once. Usually I'm getting pitchforked and arrows shot at me, which is fun. But I think that's the case. He's got a track record of it. I heard Shaney say in the first couple of hours today that once prices go up, they never come back down, I think, which is not hard. Yeah. It's not an inaccurate statement, and I don't think they're ever going to come down to what we would want, right, before COVID or whatever number we'd want them to come down to. I don't think that happens. I think that's troubling, but I think they will come down. I think 26 will be a better year than 25. I think those are conservative policies, which generally are really good for an economy. Deregulation, cutting taxes, those types of things. And he's done a lot of it. Doesn't really get headlines because the international things are sexier. Right. They get the headlines. But I really do think those will be effective. But if anybody thinks of going back to pre-COVID, that world ain't happening. You guys are right about that.
That's kind of the point of view that I'm hearing from Ben Shapiro, for example.
Okay.
A national commentator. The idea of if you are looking to roll back prices to 2017, That is not a thing
Right.
at all.
And I'll tell you this, if this administration doesn't focus on that, if there isn't progress on that in the next couple of months, it will be a bloodbath for Republicans. You think 2 weeks ago was bad for Republicans? Wait until you see the midterms. And that doesn't, I'm not talking just Congress here. You're probably going to lose the House, right? History would tell you that's probably the case. I think it'll be far more sweeping than that and lead into 28. Republicans need to address this issue, right? The affordability issue, right? I think it's a bit of a made up issue by Democrats, but it's going to be an effective one, and they better realize that and start to deal with it quickly, or they're going to get stung by it.
Talk about, our big race next year is going to be the governor's race. We don't have a Senate race. There might be a couple competitive House races in Pennsylvania, but in Pennsylvania, it's going to be all about the governor. And I'm getting this sense that Governor Shapiro is going to be hard to beat. Is that giving him the kind of license that he is using now to enter into these national conversations? He seems to be after President Trump quite often. Talking. He weighed in on this whole sedition controversy about the former military, former CIA, talking about you can disobey orders, which, we could talk about that. But what do you think about Josh Shapiro kind of, really starting to build a national narrative?
The minor blue wave, I can't call it a wave, but trend at the moment is certainly empowering him. Without a doubt, Pennsylvania trends that way. They did in the last election. That helps him. He has immense popularity, right? I know that drives a lot of us crazy. Certainly drives the people on the right crazy. But he has immense popularity in Pennsylvania, right? Stacey Garrity is a very good candidate. But at this point, if the election were today, it probably wouldn't be close. That's just reality. So yes, all of those things give him the opportunity, and the fact that there is clearly no frontrunner for Democrat for president in 28. So all of those factors put him on a surfboard, ride that wave. He can get away with all of it. Now, at the same time, though, you look at the way he's governed. In the budget deal, he agreed to get out of the regional greenhouse gas agreement.
Right, yeah.
Right? That's a very conservative thing.
Sure is.
But it's good for Pennsylvania, and he knows it. So he hasn't abandoned Pennsylvania. I know his rhetoric might be national, and I understand that, but he hasn't, in his eyes, he hasn't abandoned Pennsylvania. None of us on the right think he's a good enough governor, but that was a pretty big give, right? As far as the budget deal. Now they're spending a lot more money, and I know he's still a liberal, right? And people on the right have a problem with it. But yeah, all of those things. He is in a really good spot to run for president and to be reelected as governor. Like he is. Politics is so much about timing. So much about timing. It's more than half of everything, right? Good candidates are important, but timing is the most important thing. And his timing right now is perfect to be a quote unquote conservative Democrat.
Do you think that Stacey Garrity has the ability and the backing? Does the GOP in Pennsylvania have enough strength to really have her get a good run against Josh?
Yes. I don't think it won't be a fairly close election because that's what Pennsylvania is. And if you were to draw up a perfect candidate on paper, combat veteran woman, already won state office and gotten significant amount of votes, she would be the person.
Right.
She still faces the headwinds. The country's leaning in a different direction, and Shapiro is fairly popular. All of those things she still has to work against. But she is to me, she's a very good candidate.
Yeah.
To win. A better candidate statewide in a general election than Doug Mastriano. As much as that drives us crazy on the right, that's reality.
That's the reality.
Yeah, so he's in a good spot. Can he be president? I don't know.
Who, Josh?
Yeah, I don't know, but he certainly will be on the short list of those who could win without a doubt. And his timing is pretty good.
There you hear it from our guru, Dean Pepicello.
Everyone calls me that now. It's your fault.
You are the guru. I just want to know, wherever I am, I have to ask the question.
Oh,
where is
Dean? Yeah. Funny. Dean? You and my coworkers are very funny. Inside joke.
Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Yeah, same to you guys. Enjoy it. Thanks, everybody.